And with Benghazi and why it is a story and not something Nancy Pelosi describes as something Americans really don't care about, never really heard of or forgot about. Let's tell people why it's a story. Well, people keep lying about it. Eleanor Clift, Daily Beast contributor, lied about Benghazi. She lied about the death, the murder of Christopher Stevens, Ambassador Chris Stevens. That's disgusting. Why would they do that? Because they won't be held to account by the mainstream media, so they will do these things, just like when Hillary Clinton, as insensitive as it was, beyond irresponsible to the facts on the ground and understanding of the issue that she was asked about from Senator Johnson, what difference does it make, was looked at as almost a hero. Oh, she stood up. Yeah, up is down, down is up in the mainstream media, so that's why you're here at Nothing But Truth, Nothing But Truth, Nothing But Truth, right here on AFR Talk. Yeah, yesterday, or this weekend, Eleanor Clift had this to say on the McLaughlin Group. It's an exchange between Pat Buchanan and Eleanor Clift, Daily Beast contributor, on Ambassador Chris Stevens' murder. Roll it.
What happened to the
Every media organization has investigated this to death. This animates the right wing of the Republican Party. And I would like to point out that Ambassador Stevens was not murdered. He died of smoke inhalation in the safe room in that CIA installation.
I don't think that's fact,
but it
Eleanor.
changes that. I think that is
no. I think I've heard a drastically different story from people who are also in the know about that. So I don't think it was
attack, Eleanor. He was murdered in a terrorist
It was an opportunistic terrorist attack that
opportunistic
that grew out of that video.
The video had nothing to do with it.
There were demonstrations across the
world
because of
Benghazi,
that.
Not in Benghazi. There was no video related to it at all.
Still opportunistic, and it's still a CIA. And if you're going to put people on trial, we should put David Petraeus on trial, not Hillary Clinton.
He should testify too.
Please,
nobody's going to answer those subpoenas.
We're going to be returning to.
Yeah, please get her a cheeseburger. Please. Either her melon is, but it's not, actually, no, it's not, because she's obviously, this has been a campaign of deception from the very beginning. I know. Do you remember when this happened? It was when we had none other than a presidential debate on this. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, we did. We actually had a presidential debate on this whole issue. What was interesting was the idea, well, on September 12th, let's hit that one first. September 12th, 2012, President Obama was asked if it was a terrorist attack and why he didn't call it a terrorist attack that morning in the Rose Garden. Remember this? Roll it.
Mr. President, this morning you went out of your way to avoid the use of the word terrorism in connection with the Libya attack.
Right.
Do you believe that this was a terrorist attack?
Well, it's too early to know exactly how this came about, what group was involved, but obviously it was an attack on Americans, and we are going to be working with the Libyan government to make sure that we bring these folks to justice, one way or the other.
This has been described as a mob action, but there are reports that they were very heavily armed with grenades. That doesn't sound like your normal demonstration.
Right. As I said, we're still investigating exactly what happened. I don't want to jump the gun on this.
September 12th, 2012. Let's go to October 16th, 2012, and this exchange, edited, obviously, for time, between President Obama and Governor Romney, Republican nominee, about Benghazi. Roll it.
The day after the attack, Governor, I stood in the Rose Garden, and I told the American people and the world that we were going to find out exactly what happened, that this was an act of terror. And I also said that we're going to hunt down those who committed this crime. And then a few days later, I was there greeting the caskets coming into Andrews Air Force Base and grieving with the families. And the suggestion that anybody in my team, whether Secretary of State, our UN ambassador, anybody on my team, would play politics or mislead when we've lost 4 of our own, Governor, is offensive.
I think it's interesting the president just said something which is that on the day after the attack, he went in the Rose Garden and said that this was an act of terror.
That's what I said.
You said in the Rose Garden, the day after the attack, it was an act of terror. It was not a spontaneous
proceed.
demonstration. Is that what you're saying?
Please proceed, Governor.
I want to make sure we get that for the record, because it took the president 14 days before he called the attack in Benghazi an act of terror.
Get the transcript.
He did, in fact, sir. So let me call it an act of terror.
Can you say that a little louder, Candy?
Michelle Obama starts clapping.
Call it an act of terror.
Okay, wait. Go back to clip 2. Go back to clip 2. Get me clip 2. You roll it.
Mr. President, this morning you went out of your way to avoid the use of the word terrorism in connection with the Libya attack.
Right.
Do you believe that this was a terrorist attack?
Well, it's too early to know